Telepathy is real, of course. It's embedded in all of us. In every single human, every single baby is born with full telepathy. However, through life, circumstances in life, toxicities in life, it gets suspended, it gets paralyzed. So throughout life, we don't notice it because we use a very smally, tiny little percentage, micro percentage. But due to censorship, suppression of information, heavily revised educational system, fake news, fake corruption, fake religions, and so forth, they never promote anything that has to do with supernatural powers, such as telepathy, such as telekinesis, and many other powers that humans have ability to use. So through efficient spiritual practices, lifestyle changes, removal of daily toxicities and poisons from our systems, from our foods and air and water, it can slightly be increased, of course, definitely, to a smaller degree, but it can be noticeable. And some humans really use this, and they say, well, I hear the inner voice. Yeah, that's your higher self, fourth density layer speaking to you, not some extraterrestrials. So these humans hear angelic beings or entities or however they describe it, and that's very true. They're able to do that. Some of them call themselves clairvoyants and clairaudience and clairsentient, and these are very real things. It doesn't mean they're full channelers, but it means they have some sort of very light little layer of telepathy, precognition, mediumship, apportation, and so forth, telekinesis. These are very real concepts, of course, but very basic. Not to call them lightweight, but very basic. For those that desire to have a very significant, deep, full psychic network, third eye energy enabled and opened up so the extraterrestrials, extra dimensionals can speak to humans in full English, two-way conversation, okay, that takes tremendous amount of time to develop. That is real channeling. Channeling is not hearing a voice, oh, I think I hear something. Spidey senses tell me, my sixth sense is telling me. No, that's nonsense, that's just ego speaking. But channeling is much more deeper. To be a channeler, to have channeling abilities, you have to have full telepathy, full integration. And to activate telepathy, critical things must occur on a regular basis. And they must be executed through rigorous long-term processes and steps, including, first and foremost, removal of blackness from the third eye, as blackness is solely responsible not just for video, so visual, but also for the audio too. So syncing the audio and syncing the video together with the third eye energy and mental psychic networks within the astral and many different layers, many different high density layers, critical. Second advice, or secondly, stop escaping reality, waiting for fairy tale external saviors and galactic federations that don't even exist and so forth to give you instant telepathy, instant enlightenment, instant 5D ascension, instant access to new earth and all this nonsense, fairy tales, illusions. Instead of growing outward properly, healing, traumas, inner child work, shadow work, removal of all of the fear layers, including layers that are unconscious and subconscious layers. And this does not include ancestral fear, because ancestral fear cannot be removed in the human body. Absolutely impossible. It's embedded in our DNA, epigenetics, 101. So then third, practice meditation, deep breathing, deep grounding, connecting to the grid system, practicing projections or projecting, levitation, telekinesis, a variety of different visualization exercises. That's really the key. That's the beginning. Constant practicing of linkage of your third density layer to your fourth density layer. And what's the fourth density layer? Channeling layer. And then eventually connecting to the fifth density layer to talk to ETs. This linkage is critically important, so that human can have full English sentences back and forth with either their higher self, soul, higher fractal, or an extraterrestrial being. Third, removal of standard human conditionings. Resistances, judgment is one, ego is another, narcissism, arrogance, anger, rage, fear, pretentiousness. So disgusting resistances, really, that's all they are. Then, fourth, full commitment, dedication to pursuing extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional contact. Astral, dream states, on-craft, fourth density, fifth density, sixth density, levitation, out of body, all of these things with absolutely no fear, pure intent, bravery, courage. So these methods of contact will require telepathy, especially if human will be invited to have the privilege to go on someone's craft. In these higher layers and higher dimensional places or these states, this is a mandatory thing, to have telepathy and to be able to project the fourth density. Otherwise, an extraterrestrial won't even be interested to speak to a human. So first steps would be, let's see, detoxifying a pineal gland, decalcifying a pineal gland, opening up chakra points, human vortex points within our bodies, of course. There's 2 sets of them. Then reevaluation, readjustment, refocus, recalibration of human life programming, daily things we think are important, conditionings, daily human conditionings, society's conditioning, society's programming, radical levels of brainwashing, propaganda, mass hypnosis, fake news, nonsense, lies, scripted things they tell us by these actors on TV, misinformation, disinformation. This all collects to a human conditioning. Telepathy, in my opinion, is not something that is really bound by space or time, and just like consciousness, not really limited by space or time. So it's something that really needs to be developed or reactivated because it's already embedded within us. And over the years, many years, I've enabled very significant level of my own telepathy through a variety of different things, rigorous spiritual practices, complete life changes. Extraterrestrial contact, yes, they've assisted, particularly reptilians. Developing reptilian mental warfare, that assisted tremendously, particularly by Theta Tauri. Enabling multiple layers of my own lower fractal consciousness, higher fractal consciousness, 4th density, 5th density, 6th density, ranging from mental body layers to emotional body layers to daily expression of physical consciousness layers. That's an independent layer on its own. Daily expression of non-physical exchanging layer, astral layer, dream state layer, and layers in between astral and dreams, because dreams are different than astrals. Medical layer, so organ human layer, incarnation layer, ancestral fear layer, ancestral trauma layer, assessment of risks layer, financial energy or financial investment layer. And these are all the different layers of one soul. One soul has over 120 different departments. But of course, many people don't talk about that. They just say, hold your light, star seeds, ascension's coming. Laughable fairy tales. Then enabling reptilian DNA. We all have reptilian DNA. We have draconian DNA. We have multiple different contributions of our DNA. We have reptilian brain. We have multidimensional DNA. Humans should be dedicated to research what is within our multidimensional DNA. And I've used all of these things, all of these tactics, all of these tools, religiously dedicated my life to it to get to where I am today. Training, assistance, injections, integration by reptilian beings that I'm connected to, that definitely helped, of course. And their methods, and then their tools, and their knowledge and wisdom and training and tutoring and their mental warfare. So this definitely did unlock tools embedded within me, particularly telepathy, telekinesis, remote viewing. Not remote viewing available on the internet, remote viewing taught by them. Telepathy can also be explained several different ways, of course, boring ways and so forth, the internet ways, the medical different way, YouTube videos ways. So generally, I suggest that people do not follow the advice by the love, light, unicorn, and rainbow new age cult type of advice, because it's just useless, it's completely worthless. But I see telepathy as a body and mind really needing to express and communicate to one another, strictly to one another, using consciousness. That's it, just consciousness. Through the psychic network, third eye flow, third eye energy, third eye layer, mental layer, several different mental layers within it, within the different departments, instead of just having a human body, physical body, texting, calling, emailing, signaling, virtuals. It's consciousness speaking to a consciousness. That's all it is. So it's one entity expressing a piece of information, sharing a piece of information or an event, an entire event, or forwarding an audio or video signal or segment or an individual signal or an icon to another entity without filtering any information. It's just pure consciousness. Sentences, numbers, letters, whatever, formulas, whatever. But it's consciousness speaking to consciousness. So strictly having one consciousness share another thought form to another consciousness without any personal feelings, add-ons, removal of thoughts, or even self-doubt, just original information, raw information, pure information, but not reducing the intensity of the information. That's pure telepathy, pure raw information. And the best part about telepathy, one of the best parts, of course, is there's never really miscommunications. There's no misunderstanding. If we text each other today, we'll be like, oh shit, what did this person mean by that? If someone emails something, we say, what did they mean this, nicely or badly? We can call each other up. So what I'm saying is with telepathy, there's really no miscommunication. It's instant, it's pure consciousness, so 0.00000% of mistakes or any miscommunication. And this concept, of course, sounds completely insane or impossible to certain humans, still stuck in the matrix, third density mindset reality, aka prison planet, who are heavily programmed and conditioned to be limited and robbed of their own true potential, tools embedded within them, still heavily suffering from severe cognitive dissonance, particularly when it comes to third eye energy, telekinesis, telepathy, levitation, teleportation, biolocation, interdimensional, interstellar subjects, galactic, cosmic subjects, many different things, so forth. I mean, the list goes on. But telepathy is absolutely real. Every person who uses telepathy knows that. Every person in the spiritual industry knows that. Every extraterrestrial contactee knows that. And plenty of humans do it. I know plenty of humans who do it. I know plenty of people in the industry that do it. Plenty of deceased humans use it too, because we can see them in the astral. I see them all the time. It's just that they're ignorant to hear that they need to go to the other side. They refuse to cross back. Extraterrestrials, extra-dimensionals, of course, that's all they use. Strict levels of telepathy. It's real, it's accurate, it's to the point. They don't need to use words, carefully explaining things, choosing a selected word. They just give you a statement or an entire series of events. Describing a war, reptilians do it all the time. They describe a war that lasted like 40, 50 years, and they do it in one telepathic thought. I'm not talking about radio-enhanced telepathy. I'm talking about universal telepathy, natural telepathy, same telepathy humans can use. And universe obviously has more things than just telepathy. There's geometry, math, frequency. There are other languages of the universe, but telepathy certainly is a standard point, standard communication, a mandatory and a minimum between all races, all beings. They don't have to be physical. They can be energy, but it's still telepathy. And a reasonable level of telepathy is already enabled with humans. It's just that humans don't know how to use it. But at the very minimum, to speak to any extraterrestrial at fourth density access and telepathy within fourth density, syncing of the audio and video is certainly a pre-requirement for any human. So people need to start learning what's the makeup of our DNA, multidimensional DNA, reptilian brain, reptilian DNA. We have infinite consciousness, internal tools embedded within us. Why isn't anyone researching that? Why are we distracted in life? So many distractions in life. But humans need to take this spiritual path of awakening on a much deeper, serious level. To understand, we have a beacon in our head, geometric center of our brain called pineal gland. I've already done 2 different videos on pineal gland. We all have plenty of consciousness, 2 portions of our soul, so lower fractal, higher fractal, all overseen by the oversoul, of course, and then every other layer and density between it. So we have the telepathic abilities. We have it inside of us. Every human is really connected to one another. I don't personally believe in the love light type of statement, we're all one, we're all sources, children. That's a little bit too soft for me. It's lightweight, it's nonsense, it's amateurs. These people aren't learning anything deeper. They're not practicing duality, neutrality. They don't understand shit when it comes to duality within the universe. But every human is connected. Yes, to a degree. We all have ability to connect to each other, but we all have ability also to connect to each other's consciousness, telepathically, and also to non-humans, humans and non-humans, including second density animals. For example, that'd be one example, but elementals, fourth density races on Earth, such as reptilians, such as Sasquatch, spirit guides, galactic guides, animal guides, nature spirits, celestial friends, of course, off-planet, angelic beings, inner earth beings, inner earth races, including friends that are deceased, as we call it, friends on the other side, family on the other side, malevolent energies, astral parasites. So humans can connect to any of them if they're able to use telepathy, if they're able to open up their third eye, not by staring at a candle at night, which is a primitive advice, but through rigorous practices in life, life changes and so forth. We all go to the astral every night, of course, so it would be extremely useful for people to start using their third eye, to be able to see who they're interacting with, who they're talking to, what does this entity look like, versus just hearing some voice, a broken audio. To understand all of these communications and all of these states, these layers, humans need telepathy, not in English. And typically I've noticed a lot of my clients say, well, in my dream state, in the astral state, I was speaking English, my mouth was opening. That's the perception. No English was used, no German was used, no Italian was used, no languages are used. You perceive it as speaking. It's not, it's never. There is no speaking in the astral. That's how they communicate, non-verbally. No names, no words. specifically mental energy, sounds, telepathy. They just use the vibrational frequency sound of a letter, for example, to identify themselves, because they know we speak English. I've asked many extraterrestrials, what's your vibrational sound? They're like, well, we don't have a name, but just use a letter RRRB. So how do you pronounce that? RRRB? They said, yeah, that's pretty close, use that. They dislike using words. They prefer telepathy. These supernatural, off-planet topics. They're not taught in school, unfortunately. In school, children are completely suppressed from these wonderful, deep, interstellar, galactic, marvelous information, such as who were the real builders of the pyramids. They tell us it's ancient Egypt, who weren't even skilled enough to build a sewage system. So telepathy is important for people in the spiritual industry to learn, but then once they learn it, to forward it, to teach others. So there's no miscommunication with extraterrestrials. So there's no miscommunication with entities and beings. So that humans can establish a rapport with these wonderful, advanced, intelligent beings, races and civilizations, consciousnesses and energies. Syncing video, syncing audio, number one advice that I would tell everyone when it comes to fourth density layers and telepathy itself. Shutting down your ego is another one. But eliminating toxic chemicals, growth hormone, color additives, preservatives, antibiotics, alcohol, drugs, fake bullshit foods, fast foods, fluoride in the water, fluoride in the toothpaste, many other chemicals, chemtrails, barium, strontium, aluminum. I've done a video on chemtrails. These things, these geoengineering agendas, these poisons, that's what's destroying humanity, destroying our air, our animals, our rivers, our creeks, vegetables, grass, plants, and so forth. So these are the real toxic problems that we're dealing with in our lives as human beings. Why can't we use telepathy? Well, how can you? Everything we do toxifies us. This false information that we're taught at school, that telepathy doesn't exist, or that anything outside of this world does not exist, this is primitive level of brainwashing. Brainwashing 101. This nonsense needs to stop. Turn off your TV. So it's important to understand many things, but it's also important to understand, to separate the research away from any conspiracies. Separate proper, authentic, good, solid research from any misinformation conspiracies. So is holistic lifestyle important? Yes. Great diet? Yes. Elimination of fluoride? Yes. Decalcifying and detoxifying of the pineal gland? Yes, absolutely. Activating Kundalini, chakra system? Yes, of course. Is that a coincidence? Is that a quantum coincidence? No. Is that a conspiracy? No, these are real things. Telepathy is not something that's just a coincidence. There is no coincidence in quantum universe. So we need to use tools that are embedded within us. That's one. Telepathy is one of them. And it's not something that I can be taught by answering a question on the internet or by an email, text message. Telepathy can be only learned through proper steps, not through any overnight courses, not through any online seminars. Rigorous processes. It's a lifetime change. It's a momentum, passion, dedication. Frequency in the telepathic message matters everything. If it's solid, if it's sent with confidence and pure intent, it'll get to the other being. Telepathy is the language of the universe. Standard cosmic language. Basic language. A language of sending and receiving information. Instant information, instant data, codes, video, audio, segments, events, symbols, plans, frequencies, sound. And because these codes are geometric in nature, they're coherent with the brain's geometry. Telepathy is a very serious thing. I don't know how people don't take that seriously these days. They think it's a conspiracy, it's nonsense. And daily humans use telepathy all the time, constantly. You drive your car, someone gives you a call and it's a friend you were just thinking of. A song comes on the radio, you were thinking of some friend or a family member, and in the song their name comes up. A parent calls their child on the phone the moment the child dies in a car accident. Or a soldier in a war dies, and at that very same time, the mom of that soldier knows that her son is dead. Way before the military comes to the door and informs the parent that the son has passed away, or they gave a call to this parent. Driving a car, thinking of a past relative, and really get emotional about it. Your mom passed away, father passed away, grandpa passed away, and you think about them as you're driving, you start to cry. You get emotional, you get triggered. Well, they're standing right next to you. They're not sitting in the car, they're with you energetically. So they hear you thinking of them. Mothers and babies have very strong telepathy. Pet owners with their pets have extremely strong telepathy. I've had dogs all my life. We were in sync like no human could possibly understand. And many dog owners know that. All babies on earth, same thing. Every baby that's born is born with full telepathy. They don't remember their soul agreement. They cry at the hospital because they're not used to this vibrational change. It's just that throughout life, the parents dumb down the baby with words. Oh, look, a chair. Oh, look, a dog. Oh, look, a cloud. The baby's like, what? Look, this is a pencil. This is the... Babies are telepathic. They don't use words, but it's just that eventually they get used to using words. And the words start with mommy, daddy, this and that, I love you, and so forth. But we're reprogramming the baby to use words instead of telepathy. And every baby is born telepathic. Pineal gland plays a huge part in this. Pineal gland plays a huge part really in enabling telepathy, period. So detoxification and decalcification of a pineal gland is absolutely critical. Changes in the diet, lifestyle changes, removal of the metal fillings in the mouth. A variety of different things, but when it comes to practices, visualization exercises are very important. Pineal gland really is a beacon that needs to be enabled. There's a huge connection between our own pineal gland and other dimensions, densities, realms, as the pineal gland really is the receiver of higher forms of energy, higher, stronger, off-planet, supernatural forms of energy, limitless amount of energy, because there's limitless amount of sources of this powerful higher dimensional energies and vision all around. Pineal gland should be enabled. And in our own consciousness, there's colossal possibilities of enhanced vision and illumination, psychic abilities. They call it enlightenment. I don't like to use that word, but growing outward is a preference that I use. Or enabling inner powers. And telepathy is one of them. Telekinesis is another. Humans can develop these things to a high level, of course. Maximum amount of telepathy percentage a human can use, 80%, maximum. The regular rate we use it at is 5 to 6%. Our minds are extraordinarily powerful. We have hidden tools within us that can be enabled. But humanity's under a mass hypnosis. They think that they're basically just a boring average human living a life and just waiting to die. Instead of growing outward, learning things, enabling tools, enabling psychic abilities, supernatural abilities. Humans are trained, conditioned and told to obey, be scared, feel fear, give me your energy. Energy vampires is what some of these tyrants are that are running our countries. They take human power away. They're not supposed to even take it in the first place. They don't want us to be spiritual. They don't want us to be telepathic. They don't want us to enable pineal gland, use telekinesis, teleportation, biolocation, these deeper subjects. They don't want us to use remote viewing. They don't want us definitely to have telepathy to talk to our own galactic family, star family, celestial friends, interstellar civilizations, extraterrestrials, extra-dimensionals, beings in different realms, densities, including inner Earth, including elementals and so forth. They don't want us researching ancient civilizations. I'm not even talking Tartia or the giants. I'm talking about way before the pyramids were even built, 200,000 years ago. They don't want us to use telepathy or anything because they want us to be limited. The key element is to go against that and be limitless. Learn things, read, learn, expand your horizons wisely. And then find out the real truth. Humans are extremely powerful. There are tools embedded within us. And aside from tools being embedded in us, I ask every human, do you want your mind to be shut down by a controlling, tyrannic human belief system? Or do you want to discover the tools within you, including telepathy, so that your life can benefit? Well, human has to decide.